Hello, I'm Robert Emmett Hernan. I'm the publisher of Irish Environment, and we're here today for another of our series in conversations with Malcolm Noonan, the Mayor of Kilkenny. You're welcome, Malcolm.
Thank you very much, Paul.
It's good to see you again.
Likewise, yes.
Malcolm, could you give the audience a sense of your background, educational and career path?
Okay, well, I've been involved in environmental activism for, I suppose, 20 years now, through Earthwatch, Friends of the Earth, and subsequent involvement in politics. So I first elected in 2004 and re-elected this year in 2009. And I had no real formal training up to that point. A number of years ago, I completed a degree in Rural Development, in Sustainable Rural Development at Tipperary Institute, which was based around collaborative planning and environmental management. And that kind of gave me, I suppose, a grounding for the work I'm currently doing in local politics. But the work previous in Friends of the Earth was local activism work on environmental justice issues, and national and local, and I had been involved at board level then as well for about 7 years with Friends of the Earth.
Now, you say casually that you were re-elected this year, but in fact, you're one of the two Green Party members who was re-elected in the local elections.
Yeah, one of 3 county councillors.
Oh, there's three.
Yeah,
three.
We took a big hit because of our participation in government. A folly, I suppose some would say, but that was the price we paid. We wanted to go in there and try and affect change and affect the policies that we've been talking about for the last 25 years. Mm-hmm. So it's been difficult on our colleagues, but I think I still would like to think that regardless what happens over the next few months, I think history should be kind to us. I think the party has been there for valid reasons and done a very good job under difficult circumstances.
And you were elected the Mayor of Kilkenny when?
I was in June, following the June elections. The opportunity arose to become mayor. It's politically elected, so I've got the support of Fine Gael and Labour, which I had a good working relationship on the local council over the last 5 years, and I thought this was a good year to take it. Kilkenny's celebrating 400 years, and
yes.
I knew we were going to have the 4 in a row, so and it was a great year to take it. So I was delighted to have. It was a great honour, to be from Kilkenny, and we have a very big family, and it's such a proud achievement to become mayor of your own city. It really is fantastic.
Now, what led you into the environmental field in the first place?
I had, from a young age, I had always been interested in social justice issues and in environmental justice issues, and I think a local group had sprung up here of Earthwatch, and I got involved with them, from early 20s, and my background and interest at that time was in wildlife, in Irish wildlife. Mm-hmm. But it soon, once you educate yourself, when you're involved in activism, you get involved in so many other areas, be it through planning or through waste management. A lot of water quality issues were very strong here at the time, particularly during the 1990s. We had severe problems, and they became a kind of central plank to our environmental work here. And we had a very good group of people who were largely, it was good during the last recession because a lot of us were unemployed and we were able to get out there and campaign and do a lot of work that really get stuck into things, and that was great. It was a very rewarding time, really good time, exciting time to be involved in environmental work.
And what possessed you to go into politics? Was it natural outgrowth of that?
It's a natural, I suppose, a number of my colleagues, if I look around even the Green Party and the Labour Party to a lesser extent, would have been involved in various campaigning. The campaigning movement is kind of a natural, politics is almost a natural transition. You do become politicised because as your anger grows over certain issues, you say, well, the only way I can make inroads here is to actually get involved in the system and become part of it. But I hadn't really thought of it too much until the party approached me. Mm-hmm. I had done some canvassing and some work for the party locally for Mary White, and they approached me in 2004 to run here for the Borough and County Council elections, and I did, and thankfully it was a good decision. I think I'd like to think that having a green voice on a local authority can be quite effective, because it can turn the balance of an argument. Even though you may not win that argument, it can certainly turn the balance of an argument on its head.
And you were vice mayor at the
I
time,
was,
When I first met you.
that's right, 2004 when we met
That's
first.
right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that's good. It was good grounding. You know, you're literally. I mean, I did silly things. You know, you really you're thrown into this thing, and I had no experience in politics, no experience with media, but you know, you just go ahead with it, and I cringe at some of the stuff, but. You know, it's a learning process. Politics is a learning process, and I think as long as you can stay true to yourself and you can keep your integrity and be honest with people, regardless, you know, even if it's to stand in front of people and say, look, I'm not going to back you on this, and you have to have a certain degree of courage in that regard. I think people will respect you for that as well.
You must have learned a lot because when you were elected mayor, it was by your colleagues, so they must have respected the.
Yeah, there was some discussion that, you know, I'm going to jump ship to another political party, or, you know, it's. But I think I genuinely think there was a commonality there, a genuine mutual respect among the parties. You know, I know you can't be overly idealistic about that, but I still think that, you know, I've had a good working relationship with all right across the political sphere at national and local level, and I think that does resonate with people. I think it does. You know, because there is so much cynicism towards politics. But I really think that, you know, that good working relationship and the fact that maybe, if I look back to 2004 and they saw a Green coming in there for the first time, that, you know, there was all sorts of jokes about it or whatever, but, you know, he's the Santa wearing brigade and all that. But they do learn in time that, you know, you're there, if you're pragmatic about issues, you know, you don't have to necessarily take a hardline stance on everything, and there's no black and white. You know, I found this in the area of rural housing. I would have been very anti-rural housing pre-2004 because I felt it was destroying the countryside. But when you meet clients come to you looking for planning permission and they genuinely want to set up a home for themselves, you get a different picture of it. You know, and it's and it can be done. And, you know, added to that, in the last number of years, I was able to bring forward policy in the council on rural housing design guidelines. So that now helps inform council policy on a better standard of design of rural housing and landscaping and fitting in this into the countryside. So, it doesn't have to be such a hardline stance on everything.
And are you still playing a rock group too?
I do. I play music every weekend.
What's the name of the group?
We have a few bands. One is called the Broken Spokes, and I've been playing music for as long as I can remember. You know, and it's great. It's a great outlet. We used to take it seriously a number of years ago. We were in Dublin trying to get record deals and all that sort of thing, but you soon get a dose of reality. But now we just play for fun, and it's great. It's a really great community of musicians in Kilkenny, and it's a lovely way to do charity stuff, you know, but also just to connect with friends and put the politics aside for a few hours.